Let's talk about a spooky recommendation that is genuinely terrifying, a hard read, but one that you are probably going to want to pick up. We have The Reformatory. Now, this is not the first novel that I read by this author. I have read her vampire series and loved it. I immediately added all her books to my never ending TBR, but even though this book was published in 2023, it obviously took me a couple years to get around to it. My incentive for picking it up this month is that so many accounts definitely hyped up this book, but some of my favorite accounts who have a book club, they were going to be tackling this read, and I thought if they can do it, I can do it too. Now, for some context, we have a novel that's set in the early 1950s in Florida, and it's going to alternate for the most part between our two main characters. This is following a brother and sister. Gloria is the older one, taking care of Robbie, who is named after their father. Given the time period, we learn very quickly that they have a little bit of a rough go of it. They have lost their mother to an illness, and their father was run out of town because he tried to do better for himself, his family, and the Black community by unionizing his fellow workers, or attempting to. They are now somewhat fending for themselves in this town that has some grudges against them for those acts. They face some racist repercussions, and it's Robbie, the younger one, the one who is most innocent, who ends up being punished. He is sent to the reformatory. And if this was all based off the historical context of the story, that's enough to make it a horror novel. But this book has a supernatural element to it. It uses ghosts and hauntings to really drive home that the sins of the past and systemic racism has real repercussions, real violence. It's these lost lives that are haunting the people and the towns that participated in the violence and racism that we see with these type of institutions. As a horror novel, it is a very original story, but it's one that comes with a lot of triggers. So you're going to want to check into that before actually starting it. I will say that the ability of this author, not only is she extremely talented, but she really tackles the violence without it becoming too traumatic. She has a deft hand in telling the story, hinting at the violence without it becoming all about the monsters within. I think that this is going to be a novel you're going to want to read from cover to cover, especially when it comes to the author's note and her inspiration for telling the story. As a work of fiction, it is heartbreaking, but to know the reality that this is based on, it should move you and it should terrify you. Have you read The Reformatory or any other spooky stories this season that really puts into context some of the things that we're still facing today? If so, you know what to do. Make sure you share it in the comments below.